Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your life is stuck because you're paying too much attention to other people's lives? This is the truth that no one likes to hear, but that changes everything when it is finally accepted. While you compare, judge, get distracted, time passes, and your purpose stays there still. Napoleon Hill did not get rich by imitating others. He became a legend because he had the courage to look within. And that's where the difference begins between those who live an ordinary life and those who manifest an extraordinary reality. The biggest mistake most people make is thinking that success lies in shortcuts, tricks, and external secrets. But the real power is within you. The problem is that no one taught you how to access it. What if I told you that, in the next few minutes, you will discover has flipped that mental switch? And why is that the only thing that really matters? What you will see here is not what they say. That's what really works. And whoever applies this will begin to notice quick, real, and irreversible changes. But only if you have the courage to make a choice, stop looking to the side, and start looking inside. Have you ever noticed how everything starts to change when you stop looking outside and start looking inside? Focus creates direction. While many get lost in the confusion of comparison, those who understand the power of the mind focus on the road itself. Napoleon Hill once said, "The dominated mind is a directed mind." When you choose to direct your attention to your own personal growth, your self-discipline, and your success mindset, progress is inevitable. It's like driving at night with the headlights on. You don't need to see all the way, you just need to see a few meters ahead. That's enough to continue. This is where real personal development comes from. Observing the lives of others may seem inspiring, but it often becomes a trap. You start to compare yourself, to question yourself, to think that you are falling behind, and this generates confusion, frustration, and limiting beliefs that hinder any progress. The truth is that comparison blinds clarity. When you look too much to the side, you stumble on your own path. The manifestation of your dreams depends on your energy being focused on you, and not on other people's lives. Want to reprogram your mind? Start by turning off the external radar and activating the internal radar. Think with me. When you focus your attention on what is under your control, your ideas, your actions, your evolution, everything starts to make more sense. You create forward momentum, like a gear that turns on its own. A good practice is to use daily affirmations focused on your mission, such as, "I trust my vision. I am capable of becoming rich with purpose. I am growing every day." This repetition shapes your mindset and reinforces your direction. Abundance begins in the mind before it appears in the bank account. And that's what few people tell you. Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Try this today. Create a vision board, set 3 clear goals for this week, and keep your eyes on them. Want a practical example? If your goal is professional development, focus on learning something new each day, such as a public speaking course, reading books like Who Thinks Gets Rich or The Power of the Subconscious. If it's health, dedicate 15 minutes to a light workout. The point is, pick a target and shoot. No wasting time with what so-and-so is doing. And look, if you enjoy this type of knowledge that transforms your way of thinking and living, take advantage and subscribe here to the channel. This is very important for the growth of the channel and to ensure that you don't miss any new content about personal growth, manifestation, wealth, and self-improvement. Here, you will learn to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions to manifest a reality that truly makes sense to you. Now, a curious thing happens when you understand that success begins where no one is watching. Success, first of all, is an invisible construction. It is silent, internal, almost secret. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, didn't start out with fortunes or powerful connections. He started with something anyone can cultivate: belief. Belief in his own value, in the power of the mind, in what did not yet exist, but was already real within him. This is what differentiates those who prosper from those who paralyze: the ability to see wealth before it manifests itself in the physical world. Personal growth begins in the invisible. It is your success mindset that prepares the fertile ground where everything flourishes. Carnegie wasted no time comparing his backstage to others' stage. He knew that comparison only fuels limiting beliefs and blocks personal development. Instead, he turned inward, nurturing a fierce self-discipline and an unwavering focus on his own evolution. This is the kind of vision that reprograms your mind and triggers conscious manifestation. Positive thinking isn't just optimism, it's strategy. Negative thinking? It's pure sabotage. You have a choice, and the choice begins now. Where will you plant your faith? If you want to transform your life, Stop looking for answers outside and start listening to your inner world. True self-help isn't an empty slogan, it's a deep dive. A good exercise is to set aside 10 minutes a day to write affirmations that align you with abundance. Something like, I am able to grow, enrich, and live my purpose. Repeat these phrases looking into your own eyes in the mirror. Sounds simple? But simple is not the same as weak. In spirituality, the greatest forces manifest themselves in the most subtle practices. Lasting motivation comes from connecting to something greater than your circumstances. When you nurture this internal connection, everything changes. Your posture, your speech, your energy. You start making different decisions. Professional development becomes the consequence of a mind trained to look for solutions, not excuses. Carnegie was living proof of this. He believed so much in the power of the mind that he dedicated time to teaching other men to think big. And the most incredible thing? You can do the same. Just start acting like you already are who you want to be. That invisible force that moved Carnegie is also there inside you, waiting to be activated. But for it to flourish, you need to protect your vision, your energy, your faith. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Your vision is sacred. And no matter how much the world tries to convince you that you need to follow a model, copy someone, or live according to other people's standards, the truth is that no one can dream your dream for you. When you compare your journey to someone else's, you weaken your creative energy. Napoleon Hill said that the imagination is the laboratory of the mind. And in this laboratory, only your formula, your essence fits. If you want to truly get rich, in every way, you need to honor your own calling. This is real personal growth, living your truth. It's very easy to get lost trying to please the world. But you know what's difficult? Having the courage to stand firm in your vision when no one else understands what you are building. Great names in history, such as Walt Disney, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, were discredited by many before achieving abundance and success. They didn't give up because they believed in what no one else saw. This is exactly what makes a vision sacred. It requires faith. The success mindset is not driven by external validation, but by internal conviction. Want to protect your vision? So stop telling your plans to those who don't have the ability to dream with you. Instead, write down your goals, draw your vision, meditate on it. Practice visualizations every day, using the power of your mind to emotionally experience what you want to manifest. This is one of the most powerful secrets of mental reprogramming. When you feel before you see, the universe responds. This is how manifestation happens. You plant with positive thinking and water with emotion. Value every idea that comes to you. Don't dismiss your dreams just because they seem too big. Big ideas are scary because they carry transformative power. And this power was not given to you by chance. Limiting beliefs will try to sabotage this process. But remember, if this vision appeared within you, it is because you are the right person to realize it. The passion and purpose it carries are spiritual tools. You are not dreaming for nothing. You are being given a mission. And this mission needs your total commitment. So the question is, what is your true dream? The one that makes you shiver just thinking about it. The one that seems impossible, but that keeps calling you. Perhaps what is missing is not more clarity, but more courage to define precisely what you want. And speaking of definition, clarity is power. And without a clear vision, life becomes a boat adrift. Walt Disney knew exactly what he wanted when he started. Create a place where adults and children could dream together. And even though he didn't have all the resources at the beginning, he had something much more valuable, a written, well-defined goal, reviewed every day. When you know where you're going, decisions become simpler. Personal development flourishes when there is direction. Mental reprogramming only works when there is a destination for this new frequency to vibrate. A goal is not just a vague desire. It's a commitment to your future. It's what turns positive thinking into practical action. Napoleon Hill was firm on this point. A burning desire needs to be turned into a clear plan, with deadlines, visualizations, and daily affirmations. If you want to manifest wealth, write down how much you want, by when, and what you are willing to do in return. This is reprogramming your mind for abundance. This is taking the dream out of the abstract field and bringing it into the real world. Without clarity, the manifestation becomes fantasy. You can do this exercise right now. Take a notebook, write down a single goal that is important to you, whether in the financial, emotional, professional, or spiritual area, and answer, why is this important to me? Then, write down the first 3 steps you can take this week. It could be opening a savings account, starting an online course, reading a book like The Richest Man in Babylon, or Awaken Your Inner Giant. Self-discipline is born when your mind sees a clear and possible path. What's more, keep this goal visible. On the table, on the cell phone screen, in the bathroom mirror. Remember, the mind forgets easily, but the heart remembers what is before our eyes every day. Repeating your goals with emotion, morning and night, strengthens your connection to the goal and turns procrastination into action. Successful mindset is built on small, consistent habits, not random impulses. Daily clarity generates decisive action. If this content is making sense to you, enjoy it now and enjoy the video. And if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. This is super important for you to continue receiving content like this, full of practical tools to enrich, grow, and live with purpose. And speaking of consistency, let's now get into one of the biggest secrets of directors. Life tests those who dream big. Abraham Lincoln failed countless times before becoming President of the United States. He lost elections, faced deep personal crises, was discredited by many, but he didn't give up. Why? Because he knew that failure is part of the process. It's like Napoleon Hill taught, every defeat carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit. Persistence is one of the most powerful qualities in personal growth. When you refuse to stop, even if everything seems difficult, that's when the universe starts to take you seriously. A lot of people give up right around the corner. And the worst, he gives up not because he can't, but because he learned to see setbacks as a sign that it wasn't meant to be. This is negative thinking blocking manifestation. But look, success is not linear. It's made of ups and downs, curves and learning. Those who truly become rich, emotionally and financially, know that the path requires resilience. Professional development requires patience. Mental reprogramming takes practice. Self-improvement requires you to keep going even when no one else believes you. If you're going through a difficult time, here's a simple but powerful exercise. Write down 3 things you've overcome in your life and ask yourself how you did it. This is the fuel for your motivation today. You've won before, you'll win again. Affirmations like, I am stronger than any challenge, or my persistence brings me closer to my vision, are mental seeds that sprout over time. Believe, every time you don't give up, you reinforce your success mindset. Abundance responds to consistency. Persistence creates resilience, and resilience turns pain into strength. Lincoln got up every time he fell because he saw purpose in his fight. That's what keeps someone standing, knowing that each stumble is shaping you for something greater. If you can see failures as part of the ladder, not as the end of the line, you will continue climbing. Manifesting an abundant life is not about avoiding suffering, but about using it as a tool for personal growth. Every step through pain is worth twice as much, and the more you walk, the more you learn to ignore the comparisons that paralyze you, because you will soon realize that the real enemy is not failure, but the distraction that diverts you from your path. Comparing your life to others is like trying to run a marathon in the shoes of someone who is 2 sizes too small. It doesn't make sense, yet that's exactly what most people do, and then wonder why they're feeling pain, confusion, and paralysis. Napoleon Hill warns us about the danger of diverting our minds from our own purpose. Comparison is a silent trap. It pretends to be inspiration, but in fact it weakens your energy. Personal growth requires focus, not distraction. And the truth is simple. You don't need to run faster, you just need to run towards you. Take Ray Kroc, the man who turned McDonald's into a global empire. While competitors were worried about metrics, he was perfecting a system that only he saw value in. He didn't wonder why he hadn't started sooner, nor did he regret the success of others. He remained true to his vision, and that takes courage. Self-discipline, a success mindset that understands that everyone has their time to flourish. If he had fallen into the comparison trap, perhaps the world would never have known McDonald's as it is today. The problem with comparison is that it distorts reality. You look at other people's stage and forget the backstage they faced. You think you're late, when in reality, you're just respecting your time. To avoid this, try a digital detox. Spend 48 hours without looking at social media. During this period, write about your own advances, your learnings, your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. This is reprogramming the mind to recognize real progress. And it is in this state of presence that manifestation becomes possible. Avoiding comparison is not ignoring the world, but protecting your energy. Your abundance does not depend on the scarcity of others. The universe is generous enough for everyone to prosper. When you understand this, envy dissolves and gives way to admiration. You begin to celebrate others without diminishing yourself. This is liberating. Positive thinking flourishes again, and you feel again that you are on the right path. Personal development isn't about beating others. It's about beating yourself every day. And then, when you stop being distracted by other people's lives, you make room for something much more powerful. Continuous learning. Because growing truly means being in constant evolution. Henry Ford didn't just create cars, he created a new way of thinking. And do you know what his biggest engine was? Curiosity. Ford was never content with what he already knew. He was always seeking to understand more, improve more, question more. That's the spirit of personal development. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do need to have a thirst for learning. Anyone who settles into their comfort zone paralyzes their mind, stops the manifestation of abundance, and kills the possibility of truly getting rich. Those who adapt prosper. The power of the mind is directly linked to its flexibility. People with a successful mindset are not afraid of making mistakes, because they understand that mistakes are part of the self-improvement process. They learn from each stumble and adjust the route. Life is dynamic, and those who don't change get sick. Henry Ford would not have revolutionized industry if he had stuck to old ideas. Professional growth requires constant updating. Reprogramming your mind is, above all, understanding that you are always under construction. Do you know what an excellent exercise is? Choose a new subject to study every month. It could be something linked to your purpose, your career, or even your spirituality. Read books like Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. Explore content about mental reprogramming, or take a conscious finance course. The important thing is to keep your mind active, expanding. Because the mind, when it expands, never returns to its original size. This fuels motivation, breaks limiting beliefs, and activates new ways of thinking and acting. Henry Ford also understood the value of being surrounded by restless minds. He met with other greats of the time, such as Thomas Edison, to exchange ideas, learn, and challenge himself. And you can do this today with something as simple as a reading group, mentoring, or an online forum. Exchange is fuel for evolution. Manifesting abundance also involves connecting with those who are already vibrating in this same tune of personal growth and elevated purpose. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And the more you learn, the more your passion for growth ignites. You begin to realize that evolution is not a burden, but an inner flame. And it is this flame that leads us straight to the next essential ingredient of an extraordinary life. Passion is the fuel of the soul. When you find something that makes your heart skip a beat, everything changes. Your energy, your focus, your productivity. The difference between those who just work and those who build a legacy is living with purpose. Helen Keller, blind and deaf since childhood, could have accepted a life of limitations. But she chose another route. His passion for learning, teaching, and transforming reality was so intense that he broke all barriers. She proved that the power of the mind is greater than any physical limitation. Directed passion is spiritual force in action. Many people spend their lives putting out fires, chasing what they don't want, stuck in meaningless routines. And all of this for one reason: they strayed from their purpose. Personal growth without purpose becomes an obligation. Professional development without passion becomes exhaustion. Motivation disappears when there is no strong why guiding decisions. If you wake up every day without the desire, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what would I do even if no one paid me? The answer may surprise you. Discovering your purpose doesn't have to be a grand event. You can start with small clues. What gives you pleasure? What excites you? What could you spend hours doing without feeling time passing by? Observe your talents, your pains overcome, your values. Write about it. Meditate. Use affirmations like, "My purpose guides me every day," or "My passion turns into impact on the world." When you activate this vibration, manifestation begins to happen fluidly. You attract opportunities, people, ideas like a magnet. Purpose and passion go hand in hand with abundance. When you align yourself with what you love, money starts to come as a consequence, and not as an obsession. Spirituality teaches that serving the world with your most genuine self is the purest way to prosper. Self-improvement, in this case, is not about becoming someone different, but about becoming more of who you already are. Helen Keller found her mission and lived a life of impact. You can do the same by starting with small steps today. And when that passion connects with a positive outlook on life, something very special happens. The mind becomes fertile, strong, vibrant. Now I want you to answer me. Does this content make sense to you? If so, click the like button now and subscribe to our channel. This helps us a lot. Let's continue with the content, because what I'm going to reveal to you now could change your entire reality. Positive thinking is not just about smiling and hoping for the best. It's a conscious choice of where you decide to put your energy every day. Norman Vincent Peale was one of the great proponents of this idea. He showed that when you cultivate a positive mind, you begin to see possibilities where you previously saw only obstacles. The mind trained for good attracts good. This isn't magic, it's focus. And focus is direction. Napoleon Hill said that whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The secret is what you are believing now. When negative thinking dominates, it distorts reality. It makes you see problems where there are opportunities. It feeds fear, judgment, paralysis. But the most dangerous thing is that it becomes a pattern, a cycle. The good news? Mental patterns can be changed. Mental reprogramming begins with awareness, identifying sabotaging thoughts and replacing them with powerful affirmations every day. Saying "I can't" is easy, but repeating firmly, "I am capable, I am ready, I will succeed," transforms your frequency. Want a practical exercise? Every time something bad happens, immediately write down 3 possible learnings you can take from it. This trains your mind to see growth instead of failure. For example, did you miss a job opportunity? Maybe it's the sign to look for something more aligned with your purpose. Did someone disappoint you? Maybe it's the push for you to reinforce your limits. Positive thinking does not negate pain, but transforms pain into a step. And this is how abundance manifests itself even in difficult times. Cultivating a positive mind also means taking care of what you consume: news, conversations, environments, people. All of this influences your vibration. Do an energetic cleaning in your life. Follow profiles that talk about personal growth. Listen to podcasts about spirituality and professional development. Read books like The Power of Positive Thinking, Miracle Morning, or The Secret. Create a mental and physical environment that favors your evolution. Self-improvement begins in the invisible and soon reveals itself in the form of attitudes, results, and peace. And the amazing thing is that when thought is aligned with action, you enter a state of flow. Ideas flow, opportunities appear, and you feel a confidence you've never felt before. Because this is precisely what paves the way for something that few people actually experience: decisive action. Dreaming is beautiful, imagining is powerful, but none of that counts if you don't act. Decisive action is what separates the desirers from the doers. Amelia Earhart became the first woman to cross the Atlantic by plane because she didn't wait for the perfect moment. She launched herself really scared, because those who hope to eliminate all fear before acting never leave the place. Napoleon Hill always reinforced that desire needs to be accompanied by action. Not just any action, but firm, bold, targeted action. She is the one who builds destiny. You may have read all the personal growth books, done affirmations every day, studied the power of the mind for years. But if you don't turn that knowledge into movement, nothing changes. Manifestation requires attitude. Positive thinking opens doors, but it is action that crosses them. Believe, life rewards those who move. With each bold step, your success mindset grows stronger. And even if you make a mistake, you will be closer to your abundance than someone who just planned. Want a direct example? If you want to start a new project, stop waiting for the ideal scenario. Start with what you have. Record the video with your old cell phone. Create the ebook even if it seems simple. Send that proposal message now. The universe responds to movement. Procrastination feeds limiting beliefs, while action breaks old patterns and activates mental reprogramming. With each attitude, you prove to yourself that you are worthy of becoming rich, of evolving, of living with purpose. Decisive action also means cutting out what no longer serves you. People, habits, excuses. Often, the greatest act of courage is to say enough to what drains your energy. And the craziest? As soon as you position yourself, doors that were locked open. Self-improvement involves uncomfortable decisions, but the discomfort of change is always less than the weight of living a meaningless life. The universe does not wait. He rewards those who dare. Now tell me, how long will you continue wasting energy on useless comparisons, distractions that don't belong to you, and goals that aren't even yours? The life you want to live is now available, but it requires attitude. It requires focus, clarity, passion, persistence, and action. What are you going to do with everything you heard here today? Are you just going to let it go? Or will you apply even just a part today? Will you continue to leave your mind on autopilot? Or will you take control of your life like the big names you met in this video? Personal growth is a decision. Mental reprogramming starts now with small actions. And success, your success, is born from the courage to stop watching and start acting. If this all made sense to you, leave in the comments which of these lessons touched your mind the most. Which one are you going to apply today? Let's talk in the comments. I want to hear from you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. This way you guarantee that you will continue receiving in-depth content about manifestation, mind power, abundance, and personal transformation. Here, you learn how to create the life you always deserved. Do you see the video that is now appearing on your screen? I separated it exclusively for you. It can help you a lot. Click and see.